We're rolling to speed. Alistair, you happy?
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay.
Cool. I'll do some more at the end.
Yeah, lovely. We're there. It's yours.
Okay, so I guess first of all, how was this morning? How was the experience?
Well, I could use a lot of words, but truly isn't a word that exists that could help me articulate what that felt like. I really need to coin a new word for the Oxford Dictionary. Surreal, overwhelming, freaky. You look at it, it's almost like it has a mind and a soul and a thought process going on, because it looks at me the way I look at me. So it's a little crazy. Wow. And I looked at it and it almost said, dude, you look like me. It's like, I had to take a step back and I flinched a little. But incredible experience. Thank you to Madame Tussauds and all the artists. Wow, they really defy the human potential as far as artists' work is concerned. The talent that they have is incredible. It's a great moment for me. My entire family was there, and almost felt like as if my entire life has been a journey that was leading up to this very point. And I dedicated the wax figure to the people who made me who I am, my family. I think it's just an embodiment of all the love, support, and the guidance that I received, the values that they instilled in me. So I dedicate it to not just mine, but all the families in the world, to the spirit of family, and that goes beyond blood. So I thank them for making me me and helping me make him. And of course to my fans, not just my fans, but all the fans in the world, for the kind of spirit that they induce, in all the artists of the world. So to family and to fans.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And so, I guess you kind of go and get fit. They must measure you, fit you up for the model. And what's the kind of process then? Do you then go away and you don't see it again until it's finished, or?
They have a very, very intricate process. It's really detailed, and it's amazing because they don't really take a mold of your face. It's all through calculations, through pictures. You could just send a picture of yourself, and they would create you. But of course, it's a kind of a tedious process. We had 2 sittings, one in my home in Mumbai and one here in London. And then finally one day I come and I see a second of me. Wow, surreal.
And then do you kind of get to choose do you get to choose your clothes or what the look you want to go for? How does that work?
They gave me the option, but I'm so bad with decisions. I left it up to my fans. So I sent out the question, all over the world to all my fans, and what came on tops was the look from a film of mine called Dhoom 2. It was a very character-based film, and had the right balance of a very identifiable qualities as far as the Indian core mass is concerned, mixed in with a certain amount of a fashion quotient and sex appeal and all that. So if you see the wax figure, you'll see what I'm saying. So that was the one that I went with, since that was what my fans chose.
How do you find your British fans? What's it like for you coming over here?
My first experience with any of my fans outside of India was here in the UK. Exactly 11 years ago, the same month of Jan, for my first film. And the experience was so overwhelming. It was the first time that I heard the shrieks and the roars, and I just I wanted to actually at that point in time hide myself in some corner, because I didn't know what was going on. It was just too sudden, but kind of love that they gave me. It's a memory that I will cherish and want to relive in my head over and over again till the day I die. It was just so, my love for my fans in the UK goes beyond, because it's at another level, and they've really supported my movies, even as far as constructive criticism is concerned. You know, I really value that. So if there's something that is disliked, then I welcome the criticism, and it helps me grow. You know, so I really value their love.
And I think I read that you came to Two Swords as a child. What's your kind of memories of that?
Yeah, incredible how it comes a full circle almost. Because when I was 9 years old, it's about 25 years ago. My God, standing in the line with my grandfather, throwing a tantrum to like want to go in, too excited to see all my heroes and my icons and take pictures. And my grandfather was a bit tired, but I just I didn't give up, and finally we got in. But this morning, my grandfather, who's here with us, told me that today he feels like that excited child going into the Madame Tussauds, and it just hits hits a chord, some way. It's just kind of perfect, the way it comes around. So 11 years of my body of work, and there is something like this to represent it. It feels great.
And what would you say are kind of the biggest changes if you compare sort of 11 years ago when you were just starting out and then now? What's kind of how's your like attitude changed? How's life changed for you in those years?
Well, it's certainly changed a lot. I have experienced life for 10 more years after that, so I know a lot more about having the right perspective on things. For instance, this moment, this wax figure for me is nothing else but a symbol of all the countless and the millions of little failures that I have encountered in my journey. That's what it's made up of, actually. And hopefully someday when my children grow up and they feel defeated, or they feel too tired, or they feel like they have failed, they will hopefully look at this and know that their father had been there and learned how to rise above and learned to go on. And if it becomes symbolic of the fact that nothing is impossible, and if it motivates them, and not just my children, if I can propagate this to all the children of the world, then that's the true reward. That will make it worth it.
And I mean, this has been a great start to the year for you. You had that, and then only last week you had a Best Actor award.
Yes, thank you for that.
So how was that, and what do you think it is about that film that's kind of captured people's hearts and kind of imaginations?
Well, Guzaarish is a film that is a true gift in my life. It's a work of art that has changed so much of the world in my eyes. But I do not really think that it's the work of a good actor, because any honest actor who is even a little bit sensitive, having spent that much time with such wonderful people who have been through such tragedies of spinal cord injuries and have been confined to the wheelchair for the rest of their lives, if anyone else could have done an equally good or a better job, because there is so much out there. I spend so much time with all of them who have become such wonderful friends of mine now, who I take care of and who take care of me in a way. So it's truly been a gift. Today I do not complain. I do not get irritated. In our mundane lives, the daily stresses, we forget perspective. We get so involved in little things that we bicker and we complain, and there are ego hassles and fights, and all that just filters out. For me, it's just made a quiet exit. It's over. I do not get irritated. I do not get into fights. I kind of have like magic. I can see the truth. It's like something just appeared and showed me the world, and that's what Guzaarish has done for me. It was the most beautiful journey in my life, and the kind of praise and love that I have received for this film I have not received in the past 10 years of my career. I have seen people dance in theaters while watching my film. I've seen them throw coins. I've seen them roar and shout, but this time, for the first time, I saw them stand up in silence and just applaud. Approach me with tears in their eyes and just give me the longest hugs in silence, and in the silence say the most beautiful things. So I think it's a film that is out of that the parameters of good work, good work, bad work, business, profit, loss. It's beyond all that for me. If I have to compare this journey, I would, it's like trying to explain the journey of Guzaarish is like trying to explain nature, with night and day and life and death. What's going on. There's something beautiful, but you can't really express it in words, and that's what that film is for me. It's beyond judgment. It's just like nature. It's beyond judgment. It's beyond good and bad. It is what it is, and it's beautiful. Some kind of wonderful.
Is it kind of hard to leave a role like that behind once you've finished it? Do you have to like cut it off now and think of the next thing, or is it something you have to carry on with, sort of carry with you?
Well, along my journey, I learned some very essential lessons. There is, and if I may say this, there is a philosophy in Buddhism where they teach the disciples. They all gather around and they make a kind of a rangoli. Do you know what a rangoli is? They take a powder of some colors like red and green, and they make a design, on the floor. It's huge. It doesn't take like hours or days. It takes months, and it's one grain with another grain, adding on. So it takes a long time, and they have like some 30 of them. All the disciples come together and they are creating this, and they create it for months. And the moment it's over, the moment the last grain has been placed and the job is done and looks absolutely extraordinarily beautiful, it's wiped out, and that teaches you that you have to enjoy what you're doing and not sit back and say, look what I did, that is mine, that is me. Once you are out of that vicious cycle, you can live happy, so you're not attached, and your ego stops sort of growing out of your hands, trying to, getting yourself attached to all the things that you possess. So, it's been like that. So I have to let go. I want to be an adventurer at heart. I want to be an explorer, and to be an adventurer, to be an explorer, you have to have the will of the will of iron. You have to keep letting go of all the beautiful experiences. And that's, I think, the only true way to juice out the marrow of life, to really, enjoy it in its splendor, So, these are all the...
And you did mention this a bit earlier, but I've noticed that you use Twitter a lot, and you kind of ask things of your fans. You ask their opinion. How important is that side of it these days, do you think, and how does it kind of help you having that direct relationship with fans?
Well, it's great at times, but at times it becomes a kind of a burden. So it's got that bit of a balance that it's a kind of a fine balance that you have to maintain. If I am by myself and if I want to pass my time, or if I want to be entertained, it's nice to know that I have my fans right on my phone. I can ask them a question, something that I would want to know, feedback, criticism, or just have a kind of a chat, questions and answers, and just to be able to interact and to see what the perspective is out there. I might sit there and think, oh, I did well, but I may ask them and they said, you know what, not so good. And you realize, okay, that's perspective, that's something, that's my access point to growth. Now I know where I'm going wrong. So in a way it's great, and in a way when I'm crazily busy, neck deep in work, and I can't really get to my phone to, I just don't have the mental space to even type, it becomes a kind of a burden, because they want you back there, and you can't really get yourself. But all in all, it's fun.
And do you think, is there more kind of hunger these days in the Bollywood industry for gossip and that kind of side of it? Because it never seemed to be at the beginning like that. The Bollywood stars seem to be sort of looked up upon very much so by the fans, and now there seems to be a lot more like this hunger for an appetite for gossip. Do you think, is that true? Is it kind of a growing thing?
Well, the way I see it, people lead such stressful lives on a day-to-day basis, especially in India. I think gossip is a service. it's a kind of a service. It exists because there is a need. You know, it's it's a gift for the people to just completely disconnect with the stresses of their lives and look at somebody else and maybe have a laugh or two, or have a point of view. It's just a distraction, and that's how it should be looked upon, as a distraction. It's not the truth. It should not be taken word for word. It is, and it should also be written in that light. The writer has to know this is gossip. I'm not going to make it out to be the truth and say, oh, this is a fact. Write it to help the people enjoy it. Everyone's happy. I'm asking for too much, I guess. But yeah, that's my perspective. It needs to exist because it's a service. That's how I see it. As long as people take it in the right, don't make it too personal. The person whom it's written about also, needs to not take it too personally. It's all right. As long as you know your truth, you're okay. You can write anything about me and I'll be okay.
And what are we going to see you in next? When will you next be on screen?
My next film is called Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and it should be releasing the middle of this year. It's a nice departure from all the rest of the kind of films that I have done. I've always been doing these larger-than-life characters. This is the first one that is a complete departure from that. Three boys in Spain on a road trip, having fun, being a little naughty, coming of age, sorting out their problems, realizing who they are. Nice.
Some new challenges for you.
Yeah, always. I'm on a mission to find out what I'm capable of. So the only way to do that is to throw myself into fires that I can, survive. As they say, the finest steel must go through the hottest fire. So the moment it gets hotter, I sort of start enjoying it more.
Cool, well, thank you very much. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Can I get an ident, please?
Sorry?
An ident.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that would be great.
And I don't, what do you want me to
For a
say?
program called Entertainment Now.
Just
and
if you just want to introduce yourself
Just so-
straight into the camera and just saying you're watching Entertainment Now.
Entertainment Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, this is Hrithik Roshan and you're watching Entertainment Now.
Cool.
All right.
No, don't worry. Just the white, yeah. Turning.
I really don't think I have the words to articulate what it feels like. I remember as a child my first trip to London, being taken to the Madame Tussauds, standing in the queue for hours, and I was so amazed by what I saw inside. All the heroes of the world, my personal heroes, took pictures, and it was a really exciting day. That was about 20 odd years ago. And being bestowed this honor now is absolutely, it's all in all, if I had to choose one word, it's overwhelming. Well, it's an honor. It's sort of, I'd say it sort of reaffirms my belief that nothing is impossible. And of course, it's also something that will motivate me for the next 20, 30, 40 years, having known that, this could be possible in my lifetime, and the fact that, as I said, nothing is impossible.
Sorry, I can't. One sec. There we go. Turning. Turning. Turning.